make a thunder.
Good afternoon. I just want to let you guys know that a lot of times we think this is all about civil rights, but this is about human rights. This is about us knowing that we are not 3/5 of a human, that we have feelings and we have families too, and that we will not continue to stand by and not say anything anymore, that we will speak up and speak out, that God is watching what's going on. And I say to the families that's standing here before me, that don't hold your head down as if your child's life has been lost in vain. Hold your head up high. Your child was not the person that shot and killed someone else. Your child was murdered. That person's mother needs to hold their head down because they birthed a murderer. So stand up for who you are. Stand up for what has happened and continue to speak out. God bless you all.
It's amazing to note that 20 years ago, when it is that we assembled on this same place, the time in America had to come to a screeching halt because they were not used to seeing the picture of strong, resilient black men standing in allegiance. I want you, if you will, whoever is standing near you, would you give an overwhelming applause for every black man who's around you, for their strength and for their resilience. My dear friends, we'd be further along if 20 years ago we would have brought the sisters with us. And I'm thankful that the sisters are standing with the brothers today. Would you make some noise for the beautiful black women who are here standing? Years ago when we assembled, you'll notice that we were not asking Washington for anything. We were coming for atonement for ourselves, taking personal responsibility. No signed contract, but there was in fact a covenant for men who had a conscience. And immediately the enemy knew he was in trouble because there is power in unity. There is nothing more dangerous than a formerly oppressed man who has come to his own mind. When you show that you have purpose and you have a plan, then adversarial forces begin to show their hand. And over the last 20 years, the enemy was nervous because of what we did 20 years ago. So over the last 20 years, they have multiplied mass incarceration. Over the last 20 years, they have robbed inner cities of fresh vegetation. Over the last 20 years, they've invested in private prisons, but have defunded public education. For 20 years, they have been trying to shut down historically black colleges and universities. They've been trying to criminalize young black youth. They tried to hide the truth in these textbooks. And for 20 years, since we tried to rock the vote, they've been trying to hide the vote. But it is so important that we've come to Washington, D.C., because behind me you see they're working on the roof, but we came to work on the foundation. Something is wrong with America, and we came to fix it. Appearing almost as a move of God, as we began to converge from Compton to Baltimore and Cleveland, on this very week, the Department of Justice made up in their mind that they did something wrong. They over-sentenced. And in over-sentencing, they made up their minds that they're going to release 6,000 prisoners from the Department of Corrections. I want you in an amazing way, for the strength of our brothers and sisters who are the prisoners of the war on drugs, would you give God praise for those who are incarcerated? And I want you to shout for those who are re-entering into society. October 30th to November 2nd, the largest number of ex-offenders are walking out of prison. This is the very first time that we're going to see trickle-down work in our favor. Because when they walk out, doors are walking out, and we're walking out everywhere. We're walking out of those who do payday loans. We're walking out of banks that'll give us loans for a car, but won't give us loan to start a business. We're walking out of establishments that do not, in fact, give us the dignity that we deserve. We're walking out of playing politics, of electing people who look like us but don't think like us. We want to give a warning to every person that's running for president. If you can't say Black Lives Matter, you are not qualified to run the United States of America. There is an army of 1 million people, and we must be registered to vote. We must have an economic entity, and we must have a principle. We didn't come as beggars. We came as partners, because if it weren't for black people, there would be no America. I came to speak the name of the man that matters. His name is Jesus Christ, and he was wounded for our transgressions. Rise up, black people. Accomplish what you will. It's our time now. This is not an event. It's a movement. Forward ever, backwards ever. We've got to do it. Come on, black people. Make some noise like it's our time.